Welcome to Egg Foo What? The first and only podcast about people eating stuff. I'm Mike Lisk.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another episode of Egg Foo. What? Young Michael, I believe I speak for everyone when I ask, the hell was that?
Trying to class up the show.
With dull music?
Beethoven. No room for Beethoven in Greg Wilson's world.
Well, number one.
Let me contemplate.
Don't expose me for not being able to recognize Beethoven. Don't do this to me, Mike. Come on. I'll never have children. I'll never get married. Now, what the? We want that to be the new opening.
No, I'm making a conscious effort to listen to classical music. I've pretty much ignored it my whole life.
Yeah.
It's you don't know where to start with classical music. I mean, there's so much. Where do you go?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I've got certain problems with violins. A violin sound is not pleasing to me for some reason. I find the sound of a piano very pleasing, which is why I chose that particular number. But I thought maybe it would help with my stress. If I concentrate on this beautiful music, a lot of it's very beautiful. I took a music appreciation class in college. Did you ever take one of those?
I did. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was classical music.
It was Achtung Baby had just come out, and my professor, who was like 100 years old, and it was supposed to be all about classical music. He talked about that album for the whole semester.
Really?
I don't know what
that is bizarre.
Yeah. Every week was a different song. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I took a class, and it was a good class. I mean, it exposed me to a fair amount of different music.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's a vast category. And recently, I made a purchase. I don't know if you're familiar with the label Deutsche Grammophon.
I am not.
That's sort of it's like sort of the Motown of classical music. It's just a famous label. If you saw that movie Tar, the woman, the main character in that movie, is spreading out all these Deutsche Grammophon albums on the floor at one point. But it's like, it's considered, the pinnacle of classical music labels. Well, anyway, they had a box set, and it's huge. The thing is with classical music, they do these huge box sets, all of Leonard Bernstein. And this one was like a anniversary of Deutsche Grammophon, 140 years, I think, 120 years. And it's over 100 CDs. But the price, it came to like $2 a CD, which to me seemed reasonable. And so I took the plunge. And now I'm listening pretty much, on a schedule, 3 or 4 classical records a week, and I'm enjoying it.
Are you telling me that you, who, I say this with affection, knows or at least appreciates squeezing the life out of a nickel, you dropped $200 on CDs? Is this what I'm hearing?
On 120 CDs.
120 CDs. You said $2 a CD?
Yeah.
$2.40.
Maybe even less than $2. Yeah.
And then you had to buy a CD player, or
no? I have a functioning CD player.
Wow.
I have a computer which also plays CDs. I have a DVD player that also plays CDs. I have 3 options for playing CDs.
All right, we don't need to brag now, Mike. I'm just trying to work through this. That's all.
And they're all within about 15 feet of each other. So yeah.
Now
I have access to the technology.
Because my thing is, and it sounds like probably you did too. When I think of, oh, I'd like to get into classical music, I'm instantly like, yeah, like where do I start? And then it's like, well, am I just going to start with Mozart and Beethoven like everybody else, and then just get locked into them for 20 years? I mean,
Uh-huh.
because it's like with books, I'm like, well, there's so many books, but then I'm like, well, a handful of authors have made the gauntlet, the test of time, and whatever, like a Dickens. So I'll read a Dickens. Like, how do you, after Mozart and Beethoven, and I'll pretend I was going to say a couple of other names after that. Like, how do you even?
Uh-huh.
Because there's plenty of times.
No,
I will say there's something about classical music, and maybe it's because I'm such an inherently classy guy. That sometimes even more so than rock and roll, I get swept up in this. It's very moving emotionally. But then I'm instantly like, I don't know what that is or what, and I'll never know what it is again because it's gone. Like, how do you sit down and study?
well, I'm just sort of just going like through it.
Disc 1 out of 120.
I think I'm up to disc 22 now or something.
Really? Do
Yeah,
you have
I'm actually
favorite,
I'm up
artists?
up to CD 21.
Yeah.
And if you want to follow along, I'm actually
No.
creating a Spotify playlist, Deutsche Grammophon on
okay.
Spotify, and I'm putting all the albums as I listen to them on there.
I will do that.
Yeah, it's
I just want to
interesting.
be. I just want to hear you start saying things like when everybody mentions Mozart or
Uh,
Beethoven, which I guess are the two composers I know names of, and I can just repeat for the rest of the show. You can just kind of roll your eyes like, oh, okay, Beethoven, okay.
well, yeah, I don't
Then
think
you
I'm
start
gonna.
doing that thing people do with the Beatles, like they're overrated. The Beatles suck. Mozart sucks. You can be that guy. You know who was great? Charles Lamb the Fourth out of Worcester. He was, nobody hears about him.
Right.
I want you to be the super music snob.
No, I don't think
Picture
you know,
the Williamsburg hipster 2003
uh-huh.
working the record store, but now it's all classical music. And when you come in there picking your bullshit picks, his eyes, beady little eyes, roll out of his head. Yeah, you picking the Brahms fourth? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
okay, whatever.
If you're ever in a pinch, Greg, I think the real,
Yeah.
and this is alluded to in Tar. Just say you're a big fan of Mahler's Fifth. That'll get you a lot of credit.
Mahler's fifth.
Mahler's Fifth,
Mahler's fifth.
and maybe just throw in you like Leonard Bernstein's.
I think with
The
120
conductor.
discs, we can do a little better than Leonard Bernstein. If we're gonna be true classic rock snobs, do you have a favorite so far? I mean, 22 discs.
Yeah. Here's the thing:
If you say Mozart
you
or
listen to
Beethoven,
this
I will
music,
literally stand up and applaud.
you listen to this music, and you think, well, this music was an event, and the first I don't know, maybe 50 discs are orchestras, they're symphonies and such, big productions. So you listen to these symphonies, and it sounds like a movie soundtrack without the movie. So, for the times, it must have been exciting, and something, it's funny they used the same, they always said about the Pixies and Nirvana, quiet and loud, their songs. This is what a symphony is like. They have a nice little quiet section, and then boom, 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 then they blow you away to create excitement.
Yeah.
And it is kind of exciting. Some of it doesn't move me as much as others, but it's interesting. I'm kind of looking for something new to listen to. And
well, now that you mention it, I feel like maybe I would like it because a lot of times I'm moved emotionally by songs, music rather than the lyrics. I mean,
right.
Like to me, the greatest moment, or one of the greatest moments in The Replacements is, for all the great lyrics he wrote, which we all know them all, they're all amazing, is that moment after the break in Left of the Dial, when the guitar comes back in right before the last verse, just that little turn, and you can just have this overwhelming sense of relief, but poignancy coming washing over you. Every time you make that slight turn, you're back. every time I've listened to the song a million times, it always gets me. I'm more liable to be moved by something like that than most words anyway.
Mhm.
So maybe I'd like, I mean, I don't want to jump on your bandwagon.
Well, like I said, if you want to dip into the playlist, it's there. Anybody else listening who wants to check it out,
All right.
join my journey.
Well, we may have to rethink that theme song because I don't think anybody's going to be able to hear it.
It was very low. You see, I don't. It was an experiment. I don't know what it sounds like.
Yeah. Plus, it sounds like any personal computer or office computer ad from like 1980, like bloop, 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 bloop.
Oh, really? That's
bloop, 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 bloop.
Yeah. I didn't know how the microphone would pick it up. I mean, I have the speakers right here.
Yeah,
I
think
it
I've
might sound
tried
good.
playing a song on this before. It never. You have to kind of edit it in. But I guess now that we're talking about it, what the hell happened to our Egg Foo What theme song contest?
That's
That kind
a
of
good
came
question.
and went.
Yeah, it kind of did.
All these people out there, give them something to be part of it. They get to pick it. They get to play it. Crickets.
Yeah, we got to pick that back up.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm picking it back up. This is picking it back up.
All
the fans out there, don't make me get upset about the theme song. I mean, it's January now. I mean, when do we do the theme song stuff? September?
Oh, yeah. September, yeah.
I can't do everything for these people. I can't be all things to all people at all times. So, yeah, let's get back on that, people. I'm sorry I have to be the tough one. But after we've been talking about classical music for 10 minutes, so how tough can we be? I mean, Christ.
So we went highbrow. Now I'm going to go lowbrow.
That was 11 minutes.
Have you seen?
Hey, let me pat myself on the back though. I let you go highbrow. I gave you room to breathe and soar.
Okay.
Give me credit.
All right.
I had a lot of great jokes, some great shit I could have thrown in there. I said, no. Let Mike soar with the Eagles with his new classical music.
You can chime in anytime.
I just want to say how great I am for that. Okay, go ahead.
Have you seen the hatchet wielding hitchhiker?
No, I saw you mention it, tweeted about it, and it seems obvious you want to bring up this Tar movie. We can do that too. What's the hatchet thing?
It's Netflix doing its true crime thing. They're really sort of scraping the bottom. Yeah, you're not a true crime fan, huh?
No.
But that seems
I
to
live
be
on the
their
streets, Mike Lisk. I don't need to tune in to Netflix to see how hard it is out there.
Yeah, it seems to be their mainstay these days, though.
I open up my eyes, brother. That's my Netflix account. I open up my eyes.
They look for any crime that has a quirk to it. If an oddball is involved, and this one, they found this guy. I mean, this guy became like a viral sensation.
Is this a real story?
Yeah, it's a real story. It's based on this guy. Maybe you'll remember him when I describe it. Back in 2000. What's that?
Went to school with us.
Well, no, he's in jail now. But it's about a guy who became a viral sensation in 2013 when he broke up. Well, he was in a car with an older man. This guy's like in his 20s, 18, young guy, wild looking hair, looks like a hippie, a homeless kid. But he's driving around with this older man. They're smoking dope. What was in it? Who knows? The driver flips out, drives right into a truck. And then he gets out of the truck and starts attacking people. And this guy came to the defense of a woman who was being attacked, and he hit the guy over the head with a hatchet a few times to get him off the woman. And then he was discovered by a local news team on the scene, and they get a little interview with him, and he's such a bizarre character that he catches the attention of America. And he becomes this viral guy, explaining how he smash this guy. And then, and of course, Hollywood sees dollar signs, right? You know, they don't know anything about this guy, but he's popular on social media. So they're looking to cash in with this guy. And what they discover is if they spend 5 minutes with the guy, that he's unstable, may have mental health issues, and is potentially violent. But when they see dollar signs, I guess they're blinded. You know, he was on a Jimmy Kimmel show. I think the Kim Kardashian group wanted to get him on there, make a show possibly about him. And it's just all these stories where his handlers can't handle him.
Wait,
And
did I miss something? This is the guy that buried a hatchet in some people's heads, and he's out and about going on Jimmy Kimmel show.
yeah, I mean, he wasn't arrested since it was like considered he came to the defense of this woman who was being attacked.
Oh, it was just that one time.
Yeah, it was one time, and the TV news caught this interview with him, and that was it. He was off to the races. America fell in love with this guy.
Are we cooking something up here? Is that what's happening?
No,
We
no, I'm
can,
just explaining what this documentary is about.
we can pay for a damsel to be in distress.
But I
Two
guess
of
it's
us show
similar.
up with a couple of hatchets. Boom.
I guess in some ways it's
Late night.
similar to Norman Mailer and Jack Abbott. You know that story?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that was about a prisoner.
Oh, you
Jack
have to make that noise.
Jack Abbott. He wrote this book, In the Belly of the Beast.
Mhm.
He spent most of his life in prison, juvenile detention, so on. And he wrote this book. I've actually read it. It's good book. And it caught the attention of Norman Mailer, other literary stars, and they helped get this guy out of jail. And thereupon, I don't think he was out of jail a couple months. He's not familiar how to live in the real world. He ended up killing a young man, a waiter at a restaurant, over nothing. I mean, it was just ridiculous. And then he's back in jail. So it's, this wasn't as well, yeah, I guess it's similar. So the hatchet wielding hitchhiker goes on television. He's on the Jimmy Kimmel show. He's got people looking to possibly make a series about him, but then he can't be controlled. He's still roaming the country. He ends up in New Jersey.
Well, here we go.
And he ends up killing somebody.
Not in Jersey, but
in Jersey. So all that goodwill did not add up to much, and now he's doing 57 years in I don't know if he's in Rahway, someplace in New Jersey.
Did something happen to him in the initial accident?
No,
something happened to his brain and he just snapped.
Well, no. I mean, he was a young guy living on the streets. Like I said, he may have had mental health issues. In the interview, it's sort of like he's sort of a wild hippie. At one point he makes like a little comment about how we shouldn't judge people, and everybody has worth and so on, which is very nice. But I don't know that this person really followed that particular philosophy.
Mm-hmm.
My first impression was, yeah, this guy, there's something off here, and I would keep my distance. But Hollywood saw a potential moneymaker, and they were blinded. It's an interesting story. I mean, if you're not familiar with it at all, maybe you'll find it interesting.
Everybody was just in love with, was it Jeffrey Dahmer?
That series, yeah.
Series,
yeah. I couldn't watch that.
My nephew was asking about it. I think it was about the Dahmer. I was joking about how the 70s, that was the golden age for serial killers. Because everybody was hitchhiking. There was no phones, no cameras. You could really go on a nice spree before getting any attention. But that golden age is over. But I don't watch any of that shit.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, you're probably better off for it. I mean, I watched too much of it. First 48. I was a fan of that show. Um, but anyway,
Only true crime. My buddy's wife is addicted to there's a whole channel and it's always the exact same thing. And I think I've joked about it on here before. The husband always it's always the husband that did it.
pretty much, yeah.
But for some reason, these cops still feel compelled to come on camera and walk us through how they fucked everything up. How I didn't notice the husband. He had a picture of her with darts. I didn't think to investigate him. Every time, I'm like, why would you go embarrass yourself? Like, we're all screaming at the TV. It's the husband, and after 2 years, you're still lost. Didn't even think to ask the husband, who's always leaving to go to Mexico and back. I don't know, always. So
just watch the Forensic Files. I mean, that's pretty much every other case. They have some other
my
cases
point is,
on
I'm
there.
not interested in any of those cases.
No. Forensic Files is interesting because it shows you some of the science behind some of the stuff, and that's interesting.
Mhm.
Want to give that a shot? I think it's on HBO. You have HBO?
I do have HBO. My TV calendar is too full to put in.
Too full.
True crime.
You know what? I've ever since Granddad passed away, I don't know. I can't get on board with the Sailor replacement. Only Fools and Horses.
What?
I can't get on board with the Sailor guy.
He's called Uncle Albert.
Yeah, Uncle Albert. Yeah,
he served for many years.
Yeah, he's
on board. How many episodes have you seen with him?
I made it up to. I saw David Thewlis's cameo.
Who's David Thewlis?
He was in the movie Naked. Mike Lee.
I don't watch those kind of films, Mike.
Okay.
British
filmmaker. Is a British filmmaker. You might like British. You like all things British.
I like all things British TV.
Check out the movie Naked. In the show? But in the show, it was the episode where they had the band. Remember they had the band rehearsing and
right.
And
was he Mental Mickey? Trevor Peacock? Daniel Peacock?
Is that the character's name?
No, that's the actor's name, which wouldn't make any sense. No, he's one of the guys in the band.
He's one of the guys in the band. Yeah, he's got like one. He's got like one line.
Yeah,
but I recognized him. He's really young,
Yeah,
but yeah, the sailor, the Navy guy, whatever, he's got the sea stories every time, and it's like it was getting to be too much.
Michael, you were hurting me.
But I mean, is that his whole deal with the sea stories? And
yes, his phrases during the war, he dropped some crazy, telling his stories about in every battleship he's been on has sank. 2 of them during war.
I'll give it another shot.
I mean, if you don't love Uncle Albert, you like Granddad, but not Uncle Albert.
I like Granddad. Yeah, Granddad seemed more based in reality. Not that every character has to be realistic, but his sort of out there remarks, just seem more. Yeah, people could relate to that. I could relate to that. But then the sailor guy, he's got like a little routine going. And do you know people like that?
70-year-old people who spent their lives in the Royal Navy? Not a lot. No.
You just well, not the Royal Navy part, but I met a lot of 70-year-olds in my bartending days.
He's got a lot of pep to him. He's great. Of course, he's a bullshitter. I can't wait till the days I'm old enough I can just bullshit all, and people think, "Isn't that adorable?" now they're like, "He's an asshole. He's a bullshitter." Get older, it's adorable.
I don't know about that.
I think you need to give Uncle Albert
yeah, I'm going to. I took a break though. He's wearing me out.
Now I'm guessing you never watched Frasier.
No, that is a show I never
announced that
never watched.
Earth, who of course plays Rodney, will be in the Frasier reboot.
Okay. So
it's a little bit of worlds colliding for me because I love Frasier.
Okay.
So I'm pretty pumped about my little worlds colliding there. Very nice.
Frasier's coming back.
Yep.
Wow.
Without the father or Niles, apparently. So, I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
What about the young lady?
I think the rumor I heard is everyone else, yeah, but not I mean the father's dead, obviously, but
Right.
no Niles, which is like,
Yeah.
and I think it was like, oh well, David I. Pierce is on in the play, and I'm like, well, can we do it around his play? Like he's pretty important, but probably don't want to do it. I don't know, but I was excited to that. Rodney with Frasier, not bad.
Uh-huh. And that's going to be on NBC.
I don't know what it's going to be on.
Okay.
Who knows? I mean, I guess somebody knows.
Yeah. Cheers and Frasier.
I'll take what shows does Mike Lisk hate for
And that
800 plays?
what shows is Mike Lisk? I don't even have an opinion. I didn't watch them. It was just kind of I sized it up. I was like, nah, I don't think so.
Night Court just had their reboot last night.
Night Court.
Night Court.
You're a Night Court fan?
Well, I was just saying today, I like Night Court. I mean, it's a great cast.
Just
I
for
never
Marky
loved it.
Post, I guess, right? Marky Post.
She just died. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Bull and obviously Dan Larroquette.
Uh-huh.
I never loved it. I never super got into it. So I'm
Was it John Larroquette?
John Larroquette. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
I got to name check you on your show.
Huh?
I got to name check you on your show.
It's not my show. I'm explaining that you probably won't watch it. I hope it does well, just because
Uh-huh.
I'm happy when a great show
Yeah.
has. But I was never super into Night Court anyway.
Hmm.
So
That show just seemed really dumbed down to me. Some
yeah,
shows,
I don't know.
some shows seem more consciously doing that. Sort of like Married with Children. And
Well,
Night
that's
Court.
that's
Night
totally
Court
different.
seemed to be on
Married
that same.
with Children was supposed to be that way. I think
Yeah.
Night Court had a little more, elegance to it. It was certainly gritty.
Elegance. All
Yeah,
right.
eloquence.
Okay.
I mean, I'm saying I'm not a super fan, but I do have a lot of respect. It was very well written. The
Mhm.
cast was great. It's just you can't love everything.
No,
I mean, you don't love anything.
it's too much in the world to love.
There's too much in the world to love. It's gonna be tough for us to top that. So we went through 180 discs of classical music. Some story about a guy hatcheting someone, and now there's too much to love in the world.
And now, steamed broccoli with chicken.
Ding ding ding.
I felt like this was a healthy choice. I'm
Well,
feeling the drag of the weekly Chinese takeout.
it would have been healthy, but I totally forgot to say gravy or sauce on the side.
Ah,
So if you saw I haven't sent you my picture. I'll send you my picture. So it's kind of doused in the goop, but I'll say this, and it worries me. The goop was different. This goop was thinner.
yeah.
So I'm already weirded out by how every chicken dish seems to have its own variety and cut of chicken somehow.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
And now, are these goops coming in different? Like for each dish, they have get the 421B goop, get the X15 goop. I think they specialize goop for different entrees, which is absurd because it's all disgusting and pretty terrible anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're finicky with the chicken. No, Ron, that's not chow fun chicken. That's lo mein. You got to get the money. It's incredible.
Uh-huh. Well, you're going to different places every week. I mean, you're not even consistently. The scientific method isn't a play here.
Don't you dare put this on me, Michael. But that said, because it was thinner, the goop was easier to take. So I couldn't get halfway through it because the gravy, the sauce was just too much. But if I had it on the side, it would have been enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, one of my places has a little side menu called Dieter's Delight.
Ooh.
And that's where all their steamed items are.
Yeah, I do see most places have a healthy section.
And
I
you know,
scroll
the
by.
gravy comes on the side, comes with white rice. So that's what I got. And the gravy I had with it was, yeah, I would say it was thinner than the heavy brown gravy we've gotten with some dishes. So I was able to apply. I don't think I used half of what they gave me. So I felt like, oh, okay, that's a plus.
I'd have been happy using none of the gravy they gave me.
And I ate the whole dish. I mean, you know, the broccoli was nice and fresh. The chicken was, you know, the thing with the chicken, with the steamed chicken, the consistency is a little weird, you know.
Yeah.
That's the only knock I'll really give it.
Is yours more like little rubbery tendrils you get in some dishes, or was it like the thick
imagine getting
sweet and sour chicken ones?
Imagine getting chicken and rice soup and just fishing out the chicken.
Okay, well that doesn't answer my question at all. Is the best chicken the chicken you get with sweet and sour chicken?
That may be yours. I
think anecdotally, I would say every time I've ever gotten sweet and sour chicken, it's that nice, thick, white meat, solid, you know, chicken.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, nice, healthy sized clumps. Yeah.
Yeah, big clump of white meat chicken.
Yeah.
Whereas everything else is just these gnarly bits of, you know, I don't know what they are, like booger flicks or something of chicken.
Yeah, my chicken was, you know, they were nicely
my
sized.
My high school nickname, by the way, booger flicks.
Mine were nice sized chunks. They weren't tiny or anything. But it was just the yeah, it was the consistency was odd. It was that kind of wet, rubbery texture.
Yes. Yeah. Thin, wet, rubbery. It tasted okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, the sweet and sour chicken, I think I'm beginning to realize, is the Cadillac of chicken meat in a Chinese menu.
That's an interesting theory. Well, we'll see if it holds up over the duration.
I don't think it's a theory at this point. I think it's just a fact.
Okay. All right. It's your hypothesis. That's what I'm saying.
I think we're skipping past all that.
And
I'm saying I think we can put that down in ink.
We still have half the menu to go.
Do you say pen or ink pen?
I say pen. It's kind of redundant. Who says ink pen?
I feel like maybe it's a Southern thing. I feel like when I was a kid, it was always ink pen. Hand me an ink pen.
Really?
Go and give me an ink pen. I don't know what old lady was constantly telling me. Maybe I worked at a crossword puzzle club or something. Ink pen. Anytime anybody's ever said ink pen, I notice it and like jars me a little bit.
This is the first time I've ever heard it.
Oh, look at now who's learning how to be classy?
Ink pen. Ink pen. This is a Southern thing?
Never heard. I don't know. Maybe it is because I feel like I heard it more when I was a kid. And yeah, it would never occur to me to say ink pen.
No.
Like I feel like you would have to say it like, Doris, go on, give me that ink pen now. Let me come on. I got to take care of my foot. You know, you got to say it like that.
Yeah. Maybe what's the point?
Maybe it died out with what's the point?
Yeah. I mean, you know, you understand with a brush, right? You got a paintbrush, you got a hairbrush, you know, you have to distinguish. But what other pens are there but ink pens?
Pig pen, play pen, hat pen.
No.
I'm the same way, but yeah, it always weirded me out. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Well,
here's something weird. For a while, I mean, it's chicken and broccoli straight up, not the steam version that we did today. Chicken and broccoli was my number one choice for many years. And I think I've alluded to this Chinese place right near my bus stop. I would get off every Monday. It became like a ritual. I would get chicken with broccoli. It was cheap.
Every Monday?
I don't know. It was just sort of like after a weekend, you don't want to cook on a Monday.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, yeah, let me just get takeout on Mondays. I don't feel like cooking.
Mhm.
And so it became a little ritual. And I'm saying this went on for like possibly years. I've gone through weird periods where I'll call them peculiar eating habits.
Oh.
I think there was a time when I first moved to Bayonne, I was, not in such a great financial situation. I was eating spaghetti and sauce every night.
Mhm.
Simple, cheap again. Those are but satisfying. I wasn't bored with it, believe it or not.
I could eat that every day and be
Spaghetti and
happy.
sauce.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't
Right? I
know.
mean, if you had to pick one thing,
Yeah.
I could do that.
Well, yeah, I picked it, and I was doing it for a long time.
Mhm.
Um, Still very satisfying. And I'm trying to find things. I'm having difficulty with my father getting him to eat certain meals.
Mhm.
He seems more willing to eat like breakfast. So I'm trying to think of new breakfast things. So I just threw it out there.
Mhm.
I was going to get into oatmeal, which again, it's simple. You throw on a few toppings. I looked at a few online things.
Mhm.
I threw that up on Twitter, and I got like one of the biggest responses. I never know what's going to go over well on Twitter, and the
Know what
things
you
that the things I least expect to go over, they get a big response. So people are all weighing in on what you put on oatmeal. Are you an oatmeal person?
Yeah. I
You
I
you
don't
are,
have
yeah.
that problem. I know whatever I tweet, nobody's gonna give a shit, so I don't have these conundrums.
I'm trying to help, Greg. I'm trying.
I
I'm trying to. Yeah, did you get some book sales over the holidays?
I did actually.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All
Uh,
right.
could always use more, loyal
Okay, yeah.
audience.
Just throwing it out there.
Um, that was
Oatmeal.
oatmeal. Oatmeal always sounds like, because it's the only healthy thing left in the world. Every athlete, every professional athlete, that's what they eat every morning. They don't get out of bed without eating oatmeal. So now I get excited about it, but then it's like, making real oatmeal
Hmm.
it can be a thing.
Hmm.
Like the steel cut oats, this and that.
Yeah, my friend was talking about steel oat coat. What's it called?
Steel cut oats.
Steel cut. Yeah. Now, what's the difference between that and Quaker oats?
I don't know, probably about $10.
Really?
I
So
don't know.
that's the top
I
of the
mean,
line oats.
yeah, like those are the ones you gotta like boil, and it takes like 30 minutes to prepare.
Oh,
And
really? Well, yeah,
fuck that.
yeah.
Uh, I mean, when I think of oatmeal anyway, I just think of the little packets, the Quaker Oats, apple and
Hmm.
cinnamon.
Yeah.
But I doubt they're healthy because I'm sure they're loaded in sugar.
Yeah, there's sugar in those, I think.
But but yeah, every professional athlete, they eat oatmeal every morning. So it's there's no doubt it's amazing for you, but it's like the prospect of like making oatmeal is just like, ugh. Now
Well, it seems like it's fairly fast, though. I mean, it's like you put the water in, you put
you gotta fight me on the oatmeal thing too,
the
Mike.
oats.
Can't let me have it.
I
Can't just
think it's
agree.
easier than making spaghetti. It
Oh yeah,
seems
it's
like,
easier than building a car with your bare hands,
I
but
mean, it sounds like it's a 5-minute thing. You put the
yeah,
cup of the water and the oats, and you mix them together. In 5 minutes, it's done,
yeah,
right?
but who has 5 minutes, Mike? Not me.
five, 5 minutes. I guess you're on the go, man.
I did that with tuna fish.
Oh yeah,
I
making
love to.
tuna fish. Yeah.
I dread it now. Like, yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, and then you gotta. And then by the time I'm bitching and moaning, it's done. Like, I don't know what I get upset about. Like, it's like maybe 90 seconds.
See, I've taken that to the extreme
Uh-oh.
where there was a deli in Bayonne.
Shame on you, Mike. 23.
There was a deli in Bayonne that had great tuna fish, and it's way overpriced.
Oh, I'm
But
listening.
I end up buying it just because I'm like you when it comes to making tuna fish.
But then by the time I'm done, it was like, oh well, that was easy. I don't. I do the same thing with laundry. I'll bitch him. I get it.
Oh yeah,
Like I have to go down to the creek and scrub it for 8 hours. Like, or do I just
get
have
out the
to
old
drop it into
washboard,
the
right?
machine Yeah, the wash. Or do I have to drop it in the machine and hope an hour later I hear the bell go off so I can switch it to the dryer? You know, but I'll spend hours dreading that, melting down over that. But the tuna fish, I don't trust. I have a hard time trusting outside tuna fish,
Mhm.
like because they always got to throw some shit in it. I don't know, chives, relish, pumpkin seeds, slivered onions, cake. I don't know what they put in. They always want to put something in it. Tuna salad. Fuck
Uh-huh.
that. I
Uh-huh.
like bumblebee,
Mhm.
mayonnaise, and pepper. I only really trust myself with the
Uh-huh.
because I'm a bit of a
Is that bumblebee with water or bumblebee with oil or whatever that
watch your
stuff,
mouth, Michael. It is with
that
water.
stuff?
Albacore,
Albacore
solid white albacore in water. Thank
in
you,
water. Okay.
ladies. Once again, that is Greg Wilson.
No,
Uh,
no, the cliche about
only solid white albacore in water. That is Greg Wilson, number 72 on your bachelor docket.
now the big cliche about tuna is never get tuna at a pizza joint. You know, because they have sandwiches and they'll have a tuna sub on the menu. And I guess the thinking is like, who goes to a pizza joint
Yeah.
and buys a tuna sub?
If you go to a pizza joint and get a tuna sub and drop dead from it, I don't give a fuck. You're an idiot. Sorry. Like I said last week, but you get the salmon at Peter Luger's. I don't care what happens to you. You're
Yeah.
an idiot.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Do you have a deal with Peter Luger's I don't know about that you keep bringing it up every show?
But
You
it's
got a
the
side deal going with Peter Luger's?
because like maybe 3 times out loud I've said it's the best steak in the world.
Uh-huh.
Please.
3 times a show.
I wish. What? Is classical music giving you money? Is this Hatchet guy?
Deutsche Grammophon, yeah.
This
Making a
Hatchet
deal.
guy? Is he
I'm thinking of
Venmoing you
side
some
deals.
jail?
Yeah, we got to get some side deals.
Hey, somebody once told me there's too much out there to love.
Yeah, there is too much to love.
But tuna fish, all right, pasta and bumblebee tuna fish are 2 things I could literally eat every day.
And have you done it? I mean, what is the longest? Did you have any peculiar eating habits like I described? I mean, something you would eat every week or something you ate every day for a period of time?
Other than egg foo young, no, not really. I don't think I've ever done a weird stretch like that.
No, you mix it up. You still mix it up.
Well, I mean, when I was a young and we were all poor and we all ate pasta every night just because I guess that, but nothing where all of a sudden I've realized it's been 10 days and I've had oyster bacon scallions or whatever for every meal. I could do bumblebee and bumblebee sandwich for lunch and a little pasta for dinner. I could do that every day.
Yeah. Yeah, I could live with those for a long period of time as well.
Yeah. Oh, is this the first egg foo what eating challenge? That's what I'm hearing.
No, I mean we're testing the limits with the Chinese takeout every week. This is a new.
Well, it's only one meal. I mean, how many?
Yeah, it's one meal, but I don't know. I feel like
how long do you stretch this meal out? I mean,
I don't know. I feel like it's taking a toll.
well,
Maybe
luckily for me, I hate all of it, so I just throw most of it out. So that's your problem is you enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I actually ate the entire dish this week, which is I can't say that for some of the previous ones, and I feel bad when I'm throwing stuff out. It's like somewhere somebody's starving to death, right? Is that the line? Did your mother ever use that one on you?
About starving to death?
About the people starving in the world?
Yeah. There was none of that. When I was a kid, it's like, oh, you don't want that? Thank you. Gone. There was no bargaining to get me to eat.
Yeah, that's true. When you have other mouths at the table and
my dad would say, well, it's a long time till breakfast. I say, shut up, old man. You don't know how time works. I'll tell you when it's breakfast. Walk out. No, there was no, you gotta eat this. The kids in China. Nope.
Yeah.
You don't want it? So somebody else would be perfectly glad with it.
So what would you
call the 80s, Mike Lisk? Hard times.
Hard times.
Different times.
Yeah, I'm a 70s kid. You're an 80s kid.
Denny's kid. They didn't even feed you. They just let you out of the house. You wandered around, waiting for Beretta to come on, eating your Pop Rocks.
Well, you don't have any of those pictures with the long hair, right? You never
No,
had like a long hair period?
no,
No.
no, no. My hair now is probably longer than it's ever been in my life.
See, I've got all these embarrassing pictures,
Mm.
I guess up till 8th grade. I'd have long hair at different points. So,
Mhm.
you have your class picture and
Mhm.
like I've got hair hanging over half my face, you know. The 70s were not good for as far as
Not a lot of
staying power for those photos from that
not a
period.
lot of great graduation yearbook photos from that era.
I
Even if
mean,
they almost got it right,
uh
it hit those ruffles in the tux and like, nope.
and the thing was in the 8th grade, right before I was about to graduate actually. And I think that my hair may have been the longest at that point.
Mhm.
This is 1976.
Oh, take us back.
Yeah. And the bicentennial. And I was letting my freak flag fly. I had
Like our forefathers before us.
I had hair down to my shoulders. Uh,
Now, your dad didn't have a problem with this? Like, cut your
no,
hair.
he really, yeah, he wasn't laying down the law. And the wild thing is, it was my mother who finally
Mhm.
had enough, and so in 8th grade, yeah, I wasn't even going to the barber on my own, and I think we just went to a different barber, a barber unfamiliar with my lengthy locks.
Oh.
And my mother just kind of like gave me the eye behind my back. Next thing I know,
Oh.
all the hair is
That's
coming off.
them. Those
And
lovely locks.
so it was quite a shock
Is that
to
the day
my.
your hair turned silver?
No, that was
Hair
high school.
froze?
That was senior year of high school was when I started going gray.
Yeah.
But in 8th grade, it was quite a shock when I went from the long hair to, and actually somebody dubbed me. Somebody called me Greg Brady. That was my nickname in
Wow.
8th grade.
Let me tell you something.
Uh-huh.
In 1970, getting accused of looking like Greg Brady,
Uh-huh.
not bad.
Yeah, but it was
There were
intended as a
some
knock.
thirsty ladies watching CBS back in those days for Greg Brady.
It was intended as a knock, and I felt it as a knock. But it wore out. It didn't last long, There was
You
one
should have
guy.
said, thanks, motherfuckers. Any of y'all bang Carol Brady? I don't think so. I just
Uh-huh.
walked on.
Yeah.
Or Florence Henderson, I should say.
Uh-huh.
Any of you losers bang Florence Henderson? I didn't think so.
No.
Sashay by, flip your hair. They would have never spoken to you again.
So what do you rate steamed broccoli with chicken, even though you didn't get that? You got the chicken with broccoli, which, I guess this covers both bases.
Yeah, I mean, the broccoli, I think it was all definitely steamed, but then just had the sauce dumped on it.
Oh, you actually told them steamed?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was steamed. Yeah. And then I just forgot. You had even said, I think, the gravy on the side or whatever. And
Mhm.
I forgot. And it was just a shame because I think I would have liked it. I'll give it, I ate more of it than you'd think. I'll give it a 6.6.
6.6.
6.6.
All right. Well, I'll give mine, I'll give mine because it was one of my staples, and I finished it easily. Did not feel overwhelmed at the end of the meal. The broccoli was really good. I'll give mine a solid 8.
Whoa.
Yeah, yeah. No, to me, people are looking for something reliable. You really can't go wrong with chicken with broccoli,
We're
Maybe
not
you want
working.
beef with broccoli, if that's your
We're
thing.
not we're not working for the depression. I
No.
mean, we tell people to eat expensive food.
Uh-huh.
Hey, wow. Well, I do think that if I had the gravy on the side, this might have been bumped up to like a closer to a 7. But
Mhm.
I think at its best, it's just kind of a blah, fine, okay meal
Yeah.
at best. At worst, it shows up drenched in some sort of gravy.
Uh-huh.
But I did get a fortune cookie
Oh yeah, wow.
for the first time in months. I'm gonna open it right now. Still opening. All right. Oh, this is a good one. You ready?
All right.
Catch this Chinese wisdom. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Wow.
Boom. It's no mystery why they're about to overtake us. Good one, guys.
Wow, this one's just kind of not particularly philosophical.
Well, it's tough to beat mine.
Adjust finances. Make budgets to improve your standing.
Jesus. Don't be broke.
Who wrote
Thanks.
that one?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, thanks, China. Oh, I should try to make more money. Oh, I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
These are fucking worthless. But I mean, I can't remember the last time I got a fortune cookie.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
And
tell you what.
You didn't even ask this time?
No,
Wow. This
because
must be
of
this.
this,
This
I'm
has
gonna,
got to be
I'm
your
gonna try
place
to
then.
remember. I'm gonna try to remember to use the same place next week.
Yeah. How many places have you used since this show started?
8.
8? Wow.
No, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna go back and research.
But you never, like, in the first few, you didn't find one like, oh, this seems to be above the others. I'll stick with this one.
Not really.
Yeah. I mean, I have other options, but I'm going back and forth between two places. And the place I go to tonight, I guess they so rarely get cash that when I pay with cash, I get like a little discount.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like I think it was like $22 and change. And they're like 22.
Oh,
22.
that is big.
Yeah.
But you said no. I insist on tipping. Please, sir, keep the change.
No, and I was so used to the discount that I knew I had $22 in my wallet, and I'm like, are they going to really hit me up for the change? And then I said, nah, they're going to give me that cash discount, and they did.
I don't know if that's a we love Mike List discount or it's just like we don't have to handle his pain in the ass change.
I can see some of these people like they're like trying to figure me out. It's like
Good luck, China.
that guy.
I've been at it for 25 years.
That guy is ordering something different every time he comes here. What's with this weirdo?
They're like, we keep giving him the same shit. He keeps coming back. Calls it something different every time. Somewhere they have a running list of what you would call this stuff. And like we give him the same shit every week. He gives it a different name. How long can this go on?
How's your I was gonna ask you, are you doing any word of mouth marketing for Egg Foo What? I mean, are you getting the word out? Are people interested in what you're up to?
No.
What's going on? What's going on?
Why are the numbers low, boss? I gotta get
no, Julie Klausner was a big hit, so yeah, I'm hoping we picked up a few more regulars after that show. Maybe she brought in some newbies.
Yeah,
but
right.
I keep doing the pitch, in-person pitch at my local establishment. If I'm talking to someone, I'll happen to mention, oh yeah, I'm involved with this this podcast. I think you might like it. And then I tell them the name. Sometimes the name just gets a laugh. They're like, what is that? I don't think I've gotten anybody to listen to the show yet, but even some of my friends, I try to get some feedback. Hey, have you checked out any episodes lately? No, I don't have the time.
Nobody has the time.
Nobody has the time.
9 million podcasts. Everybody's talking about them all the time, but nobody has time. Nobody admits to listen. My younger brother listens. Shout out to Will. Our buddy Waddy
Yeah,
Uh,
he's a loyal listener.
he's loyal. I don't know if he listens, but he definitely supports us all he can. So maybe we'll have him and his kid, Jack
And John, what's his last name? Kellerman? Is that his last name?
Keller.
Keller,
Oh,
Keller, Keller.
yeah, he's great.
He seems to be a regular.
Uh, yeah. Other than that, nobody, none of my friends are listening to this. So
It's sad, right? You know.
well, this is what I was saying before. You get used to it, man.
Yeah, no, you get used to it. You're right.
Yeah. Well, this is a. I mean, you brought up last week with Julie, and now this is a bit of a downer. Jeez.
Greg, you have no idea how down this show. I'm resisting. I had a bad week. I'm going through some issues with my family,
Yeah.
and so I'm holding back. You know, this I try to make this my little desert island. You know, in this sea of stressful events from the week.
Okay.
You know, I have this show. I have the best show. And these
Mhm.
are my my little islands where I can forget about what's going on for.
Little oases.
But yeah, this week was another,
Hmm.
you know, I can't catch a break, man. It's just like one thing after another. And you know, maybe when I have a little time and we're out of the woods with certain things, I can talk about it, but it's just you know, when is it gonna stop? Well, I know when it's gonna stop when I go. That's why
Well,
I suggested.
you don't know when it's gonna stop.
No,
You know why it's gonna stop.
no, that's why I suggested the name change. Because when, you know, I think there's going to be a point where we throw up our hands, right? We're going to say no mas, you know. We've reached the end of the line here. But you know, I'm thinking of other names for the show. So, you know, I was thinking my first heart attack
Nope.
might be a good one.
Nope.
How about this one? Laughter and sorrow.
Why do we have to change the name of the show?
Well, when we're done with the Chinese takeout.
Oh, by then we'll be so huge, we won't be able to.
Oh,
Our
okay,
lawyers will
you're
strongly
optimistic.
advise against it.
Okay, you're optimistic. Okay,
We're a brand, bro.
yeah, we are a
Changing
brand.
the name.
Yeah. The delightful conversation.
I was gonna see how long we could do the silence.
Yeah, no, I had to. I think the Zoom automatically shuts off.
Oh, let's tell people we were silent for 48 minutes.
48 minutes. Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, we can talk about your week if you want, or
No, I want to wait. I'll wait. Maybe next week I'll talk about it. I'll just say this. I did something this week. Believe it or not, I've never done before.
all boys.
Wonder
do it
maybe you've had this experience.
most days.
Have
But
you ever used an emergency room at a hospital for a bathroom emergency?
No.
Yeah. I knew when it was happening, like this is really something that I'm sure most people haven't had this experience.
Uh-huh.
But here I am. Not only am I going through this stressful situation,
Uh-huh.
to compound it, as I'm approaching the emergency room, I have to use the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
And I mean like right now.
Right.
This is my warning to you. You're a young buck.
Uh-huh.
I've got 10 years on you.
11.
Whatever. And but as you age, you don't have the same time span. You know, this is why there's a whole industry.
You mean when you gotta go, you gotta
When you gotta go, you look out, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so picture your hero as he's approaching the emergency room to a hospital, and suddenly the urge is just it's urgent. I need to get through. And
Ciao
of course,
fun. Ciao fun alert.
And but circumstances aligned. When I got there, the person at the desk, who you have to check in with, she had left her post.
Uh-oh.
So this gave me an opportunity.
Not
There
your
was
fault.
there was a young fella mopping the floor, and I thought, maybe he would give me, he would understand the circumstances when
So,
I
but up
asked.
to that point, it didn't occur to you say, where is the bathroom?
Well, no, I asked the guy with the mop.
Okay.
You know,
I thought you meant you were just gonna start shitting on the floor because he
no,
has a mop anyway. He's ready to go.
I didn't even think of that, but that's
You're
an
doing him a
interest.
favor. You're giving
That's an
him something to do. I mean,
that's an interesting thought.
he should be
Yeah,
thanking you.
yeah.
Let's be honest. You're
No,
from
I
Hayward.
thought this guy would be more sympathetic to my plight.
He works in
But
a
no,
hospital ER. He's gonna be sympathetic to a guy who's got a shit. Like, whoa! Of all the people I've seen today, this sir, come through.
he was not sympathetic at all, and he suggested I wait for the person to return to the desk. I said, nope, don't have the time. And I
Nor
just
the inclination.
the inclination. And so now you're not, these hospital corridors are very confusing. And so now I got
Like a
to,
mouse.
and of
You're like
course
a
this
mouse in
place,
a maze. That's how the man keeps you down, bro.
and of course the signage is not very good. I can't find a sign on any door. There's all these doors.
Mhm.
And finally I saw a woman, and and she was sympathetic to my plight. I said, I asked her politely, and she pointed out the door, and I saved the day. That was my
Wait a minute.
personal triumph.
After all that, you
Oh,
didn't
you
shit
wanted a
all over
mess?
the emergency room
You wanted a
floor?
mess?
Well, the way you set it up. Have you ever
No,
gone to the
Greg.
bathroom?
I have to take my triumphs where I can,
No. Yeah, I'm
and
all
that
for
was a
that. But
triumph.
if I'm being honest, when you started this story,
Mhm.
I would have bet a lot of money on it ending with, and then I just shit all over the ER floor.
Well, yeah,
Like, if you
I
can't
get
find the
it.
bathroom, they have to let you shit in the ER
Yeah,
because God knows what happens in the ER.
yeah,
But well, I'm glad you made it. There's no worse feeling.
yeah.
I had it bad. Since we're trading shit stories, we started out talking about
This
122
this will be
compact
our.
discs of classical music,
Uh-huh.
but now we made it to shitting. So this summer, I all of a sudden I realized I was like constipated,
Uh-huh.
and I'd never really been like to the point where it was hurting.
Oh yeah,
I started to panic because I'm like,
yeah.
you start thinking about those old stories of that you'd kill people by super gluing their assholes together so they shit up into themselves
They
and
get
die.
backed up. Yeah.
So there's the pain, there's the I've really starting to panic. So long story short, eventually I'm like, oh, okay, it's about to happen.
Uh-huh.
And I swear to God, I've never thought this about anything at any moment of my life. I've had some good moments in this life. Not as many as some people, more than others. Some great moments. But as the gates were finally being opened, the first time I ever heard myself say, Greg, take some time to step out and enjoy this moment. How good this feels. You may not ever feel like this again.
Uh-huh.
That's the moment I was like, you know what? You
Uh-huh.
should step back and really soak life in.
Mhm.
Because I knew it was going to feel that good. And it did.
You were like Martin Luther on the can. You had a spiritual moment.
Thank you.
Did you think of Martin Luther when that was happening? Did you think, oh, this is what inspired Martin Luther?
No, I thought I have to somehow get rid of all this before all the people come back in.
Uh-huh.
So it
Because
got grisly after that. That was the good part.
uh-huh.
Then it got grislier, but I was so happy.
Do you know what brought it on? Because I mean, I had that once in my life when I broke my collarbone,
Mhm.
and they gave me codeine, And these opioids, they don't tell you. Not a lot of people talk about. Well, you see, actually, there is a commercial that addresses this problem because so many people are on opioids. It makes you constipated, and I didn't know that. I didn't read the fine print on the prescription, because if I did, I would have said, "Forget it. I'll deal with the pain," because that became this new thing. And I'm like, I don't want this because I broke my collarbone. So yeah, I just stopped taking it. I was like, forget that.
And then you let it rip, and you, Doc.
But that feeling, when the way you described it, when you're sitting there, and then sometimes you sort of creak one out. It's like it's like well, there's an expression for it,
What's that?
With a brick, shitting a brick.
We've been talking about shitting for the last 20, and you feel like you can't say the word shit.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get clobbered by one of my fans who's she doesn't like the bathroom talk. She doesn't like the
you
low,
brought up.
She doesn't like the lowbrow stuff. So
I don't know what to tell you.
I don't know what to tell her.
Life is lowbrow.
Well, it's the high and low.
Is that why you started out with all the highfalutin classic music?
No, that's a real thing I'm doing. I'm actually trying to.
We should have started with the shit stories and ended with the.
Are you saying I should edit this episode?
Well, I'm just saying we should have thought it out.
I
mean, I didn't know you were going to be talking about shitting in classical music.
No,
that would be a nice. It's like I've said before about when I was in high school. I always wore my best shirt on Friday, because then I thought, if that's the last thing the girls see me in over the weekend, when they're thinking about me, they'll think of me in my best shirt. So
yeah,
I show up Monday morning, and
I like that philosophy though.
Then it turns out I show up Monday morning, and it turns out that over the weekend they weren't thinking about me at all. But come Friday, I had that best shirt out every time.
That was another possible name change for the show I thought would be good. Highbrow Slobs.
Yeah.
You like that?
We're not changing the name. Sorry.
No.
Especially now that I've let my people know that I'm upset and disappointed, and that there's no theme song action going. Right. So they're going to scramble the jets and get that done. So then, yeah.
The other ideas I had was raw life or raw ass life.
Okay, these are getting worse.
Okay. All right.
I hope you haven't spent too much time this week dedicated.
These are just,
for some reason,
thoughts
renaming the podcast.
I'm just spitballing.
I mean, plus, let's say we eat every piece of Chinese food there is. Who cares? I mean, I used to listen to the Office podcast with Kevin. The guy who played Kevin.
Yeah.
And he ran out of Office people to interview, so now he's just interviewing anybody who walks in.
Yeah. With the podcast game, I guess you have to, you think maybe it's just going to be a short run, but then you think about the long-term run, and then it's like, well, who am I going to get next? Now you brought up something on Twitter. We haven't gotten to it. An ELO song.
Oh God!
I'd never heard this song before.
I wouldn't call it an ELO song.
Wasn't it performed by ELO?
Well, yeah, but it's it's Roll Over Beethoven.
Right. Yes.
Speaking of Beethoven, hey, tying it all together with your classic music.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I mean, just typical. Why does Jeff Lynne think? Let me take this incredible song that my BFF George Harrison did as well, and did a good version of it. I'm not a big fan of covers like that. I mean, you're not going to top Chuck, but whatever.
I think that comes that I would say that is the closest cover.
It's a good cover
to maybe being better. There's a lot of
cover.
There's a lot of excitement in it.
There's a lot of excitement. It's great rocking. Great.
Yeah.
And then Jeff Lynne's like, well, let me take this incredible song and do some ELO Jeff Lynne touches on it. and just suck the life out of it. And like, how does that happen?
Yeah, I never heard it before until you posted it on Twitter. And yeah, it is pretty god awful.
Yeah. It makes like in this week's episode of how do we make this worse?
Mhm.
We have Jeff Lynne taking a great song and shitting on it.
Yeah, how did I describe it? It was I described it as there's a little bit of the Batman theme in there, I think.
Yeah.
It's sort of in the background, and then it gets classical at the end, right? Doesn't it get it goes for a classical move at the end of the song?
I wouldn't know, Mike. I'm not a classical music guy like you. We're not all that educated, Mike.
But that was the whole prog rock thing, which I never got into. You probably, you probably never even sampled any of that stuff, right?
No.
Yes, Genesis, Jethro Tull.
No.
I got into a conversation with a guy, just kept pushing Jethro Tull at me, and I was like, oh, I mean, I told him a famous story when I was in high school. Some of my friends went to see them at Madison Square Garden, and they tried to sneak down to a lower level, and one of the ushers punched my friend in the mouth, and he had braces at the time.
70s, baby, different times.
And he spent the rest of the show trying to detach his lip from his braces because they had melded from the punch.
How much money would that kid be sitting on if that happened today? Punched in the face by some usher? Oh, man.
Yeah, those were different times. Yeah. But
on that
to get closer to Jethro Tull. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, thanks, Jeff Lynne. And I mean, I'm not an ELO guy anyway, so
I like some of their songs.
Then I'm like, well, how was he even friends with the Beatles? But then I'm like, well, what? Like, they'd be friends with me? Like, what am I? Like, I get upset. Sometimes Paul McCartney mentioned emailing Taylor Swift, and I was all bent out of shape. Why does she get to email him? Then I'm like, well, what do I think's going to happen? He should be emailing me.
Do you leave comments in his Instagram posts and try to get his attention? I mean, it worked with Dave Davies,
Yes.
Dave Davies has acknowledged you a couple times.
Yeah. He's very active on Twitter. Very happy to interact. I've not gotten that from Paul. Paul probably is. I call him Paul. He's probably never seen it. To be honest, I don't know who taught Dave Davies about it, but I'm glad he is. So
lots of people mourning the loss of Jeff Beck this week, and I just saw one of the members of the Screaming Trees passed away. It's that age, everybody's getting to the age where,
well, Jeff Beck was a surprise. I'm not a Jeff Beck fan.
Yeah.
I mean, I know what he did with his guitar is astonishing. He was like a guitar player, but he never had like a song of his own or whatever. But
I never quite got the fascination. I did get the albums he did with Rod Stewart, which I think any band would be happy to have Rod Stewart singing.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he was an amazing, like, every once in a while you'd see a clip of him in the 60s. He just comes on with whatever band and he like shreds and he's incredible. But yeah, to me, he just wasn't my thing. But but every like great guitar player seems to have worshipped. But the only reason he'd been on my radar.
I'll go further. I'll say every musician. I've never seen. I mean, as far as when a musician dies, you usually see a round of posts. But I would say Jeff Beck has gotten the most I've seen.
Yeah,
right. I mean,
I'd agree. Yeah. But not my thing. Plus, he was, from what I could tell, he was playing in Johnny Depp's band.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm constantly getting these clips. I don't follow Johnny Depp. I don't know why I'm getting of Johnny Depp like rocking, and it's like, who's fucking paying?
That's it. I don't get that either. But I'm sure Jeff Beck was probably well compensated.
Well, yeah, of course, yes.
for his efforts.
Yes.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I'm
He's
sure.
a guitar slinger for hire.
Yeah.
And hey, Johnny Depp, he's a known entity,
Can you imagine? I mean, you see these clips and it's Johnny, like, and he's super serious. He's emoting, singing his song, like, and there seem to be original Johnny Depp songs.
Uh,
I'm like, who's paying to go see
well,
Johnny Depp like rock it out? And
well,
like, he's not goofing around. He's not there.
right.
Betty Lou's got a new pair of shoes. Johnny's got something to say, and you're gonna hear it.
He's got that hat too.
The hat, the
He's found
scarf, the
he's found his
skull
signature.
rings.
He's found his signature hat, and
Yes,
and
yeah,
he's
yeah.
committed to this hat. How would you describe that hat?
It's like a like an octagonal derby hat.
I mean, it's
Like,
sort of.
I'm sorry your hot girlfriend shit in your bed, but don't take it out on us with these shows every fucking. But yeah, I would like to know how much he was paying Jeff Beck.
Let's talk more about Johnny Depp's hat. I mean, it's sort of it's got a brim, but it's like a huge flat hat that sort of goes all the way down the back of his head, right?
Yeah.
And so I mean, I don't know. It's not a beret. It's not a what's the Irish hat with the brim? What's that called? Is that a derby? No, not a derby. What's that little Irish hat with the little?
Plus, he's in real life. He's probably 3 foot tall. So
no, I think he's pretty tall. I think I saw something that
you got to take his side, don't you? Okay, take Johnny's side. Fuck Greg.
No, I know what you are. No, I know what you're saying about a lot of celebrities are 5'5" or whatever, but I think he's one of the rare instances that is actually. What was the name of his big show? Something 99 or something a number. What the hell was that show? I never watched it.
21 Jump Street.
21 Jump Street. Yes.
I never watched it either.
But I remember that show. It was very popular. Never watched an episode. But I remember at the office I was working at the time, grown women. I'm not talking about teeny boppers here. Grown women had photos of Johnny Depp in their cubicles.
Which I get. I'm like, he's a handsome man.
Yeah.
But am I paying $100 to go out and hear him shit around with his Johnny's music for an hour and a half?
Well, if you're a fan from 21 Jump Street.
I've never seen. I never saw 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, but I'm saying that there were these legions of female fans. I think they're probably still on board. I
get it. He's a good-looking dude. You want to see him, but thanks to the miracle of technology, you can see Johnny Depp whenever you want, and you don't have to hear his shitty music while doing it. You don't want to. Hey, girls. On the internet, Johnny Depp, blue. I can look at him all I want.
I just scratched off Johnny Depp from our potential guest list.
He is good looking though, Johnny. If you're listening, we'd love to have you. I loved you in Edward Scissorhands.
Still haven't seen Edward Scissorhands all the way through.
What's the best Johnny Depp movie? Donnie Brasco? Like
Donnie Brasco, yeah.
Like he's another one. Like I assume he's an incredible actor, but now I'm thinking, I'm like, what have I seen him in?
Yeah. Well, people love the Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well, yeah, I'm not counting that shit.
I think those are his most popular movies.
Oh, I know that. But...
Yeah. And he's supposedly doing an impression of Keith Richards. That's how he created that character. Yeah.
I think that's what he's done from these clips of him rocking.
He's still doing it
on stage too.
He's got the jewelry, a lot of skull rings, jewelry, right?
Skull rings. Oh, gee. How
can I become a rock and roll cliche? And
let me guess who's going to go on the payroll now that Jeff Beck is gone. $9 million a song. Keith Richards.
Jimmy Page. He's going to get Jimmy Page.
Could be Jimmy
and
Page.
Another Yardbird.
Well, yeah. What's the definitive Johnny Depp movie?
That is a good question.
Thank you.
We just went through the best show, a Tom Hanks extravaganza.
Oh yeah.
Which is the best Tom Hanks character? And came up Forrest Gump, which made a lot of sense to me.
Well,
Yeah,
what's your
that
criteria?
movie, I haven't seen
Movie or
that
the
movie.
character or his performance or
It's just a character. It's the character. Yeah, like I mean, there were David Pumpkin from the Saturday Night Live sketch was also
okay.
included. So yeah, it was a broad range of his
Well,
characters.
his Black Jeopardy character was even funnier in SNL.
Oh,
Did that
okay.
come in there?
No, what was his name?
It's a character on there's this recurring sketch in SNL, Black Jeopardy,
Uh,
and he was a contestant. And you think he's going to be this? Well, he is, but the things he says because he is like a MAGA guy, it's really funny. Just look it up.
okay.
It's funnier than David Pumpkins, but yeah, I can understand.
Uh-huh.
Not as iconic. Boy, who would you pick?
What for the definitive Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, in the end I thought that was a good choice. I mean, I saw that movie's weird because I was working at Simon and Schuster at the time, which is part of Paramount, who produced that movie. And I guess Paramount was really kind of hyped up about that movie. We didn't get tickets to see movie like sneak previews of Paramount movies before they opened up,
Mhm.
but they must have been hyped up about Forrest Gump that employees were allowed to go see this movie before it opened. And when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that was entertaining." It's all over the place. You don't know where the movie's going, so I kind of enjoyed that. It was different, but it was manipulative. It's kind of corny, I guess. Is that why you were
Oh,
grumbling?
yeah, like it's hard to argue that okay, that's his most iconic character. But yeah, I don't know if I've ever been able to sit through the movie without just
Hmm.
being like, okay, it's just annoying. And,
Um,
a lot of people's favorite movie. It seems like it was a great achievement, a great feat.
mhm.
But yeah, I will never sit down and be like, I gotta watch knock Forrest Gump out tonight.
Uh,
But he's had so many great movies. But I guess Forrest Gump stands out as such a singular character. Who's in the top four or so?
well, it was his character from Splash.
Uncle Ned from Family Ties.
No, it was no, I'm blanking out.
What was his name in Happy Days? Remember he showed up in Happy Days? He's a karate guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Look, we can learn something now, Michaelis.
I'm looking at the list of Johnny Depp movies.
Oh,
What's Eating Gilbert Grape?
oh, he was great in that, and so
Um,
was DiCaprio.
Edward
Obviously,
Scissorhands. I haven't seen the remake of Charlie and the Chocolate
yeah.
Factory. Sweeney Todd.
Well, yeah. What's the last movie he did where he just like looked like a normal person? Like, yeah, he looks like
That's a
a
good question. Yeah.
brown Keith Richards for all these Pirates things. Edward Scissorhands,
I'm seeing a
fucking
lot of
Willy
movies that
Wonka.
I mean, I'm seeing some movies I've never seen. Secret
I think one of
Window.
these Tom Hardys or Charlize Theron now are like oh, I'm too beautiful. I don't want my face distracting from my art, so he
Uh,
always has to. I mean, I
yeah,
do it.
maybe he's got a little bit of that. Yeah.
Like, what was the last movie he did where he's like a normal human
I'm trying
person?
to. There's movies here I never saw. Secret Window, Transcendence. Anybody
Never heard of
seen
it.
those? He did a couple. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas and
Mm,
The Rum Diary.
mm.
Donnie Brasco. I mean, he doesn't look. He's not wearing makeup in that one.
Yeah, he was good, and that was good.
Uh-huh.
I mean, when you with Al Pacino, you better show up and cut the hair and shave and
Uh-huh.
look normal. Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't think of one other than that.
Right. We were. I was goofing around on last night's show. Is any Tom Hanks movie going to make the Criterion Collection? And
What?
we thought maybe Philadelphia would make it. But a quick look at the Criterion Collection, I didn't see any Tom Hanks movies in there.
Why would Saving Private Ryan not be on there? Or
Well, yeah, actually, yeah,
Saving
Saving Private Ryan, yeah, Saving Private Ryan, I could see.
I
I
mean,
don't know
Forrest
that
Gump
Steven
is
Spielberg. I don't know that
Forrest Gump
Steven
was a
Spielberg
big
has a movie.
deal. Like I can see. I mean, that run of his is unmatched. League of Their Own, Philadelphia, Forrest Gump, Apollo 13.
Mhm.
He wrote That Thing You Do. I love that movie. I know
Uh-huh.
it's not Citizen Kane, but that's about it. That's a great run. I mean, for me personally, when you think Forrest Gump to me is the weakest and the shittiest one I'll never watch again of
Uh-huh.
those, pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
League of Their Own, Apollo 13, and
Never seen League of Their Own. Never seen
oh my God.
it.
Are you kidding me?
No, I mean, I kept seeing that one clip. There's no crying in baseball. I mean, it
Oh,
just seems so goofy to me. I
it's a
don't
great movie.
know. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
I'm not gonna make any jokes about you hating women or hating America.
No, I just hate like lame over the top acting. Like, there's no crying in baseball.
First of all, that was amazing. Uh
Uh,
no, it's a great movie.
okay.
It's
All
one of my
right.
top 10 movies of all time.
Really? Top
There's
10.
nothing I don't love about that movie.
Top 10. Wow.
Maybe give it a spin.
I'm gonna,
You've never watched
I just, what
Cheers?
did I just, I just
Never
watched
watched
it.
League of Their Own. Jeez.
I just watched Spaceballs for the first time.
I've never seen that from start to finish.
It is, it's not very good. But,
Yeah,
I
I mean, I love Mel
I
Brooks,
can't
but
say I did not laugh at all. I mean, it's got some SCTV alums in there, John Candy.
yeah.
I guess it's worth watching to check out another John Candy movie. Rick Moranis does his part. But I think Mel Brooks' claim sort of fizzled after Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, I mean, I love Mel Brooks, but there's a lot of
Horniness, yeah, just
like Spaceballs. I'm sure I would laugh,
yeah.
but am I sitting down for the next hour and a half watching Spaceballs? No.
The laughs are few. Like I said, I did laugh at times.
Yeah,
Um,
like if I'm sitting down and it popped up and I got stuck,
not a
I
whole
probably
lot, not a
enjoy it.
whole lot.
The Robin
Uh,
Hood one he did was pretty good.
I've got Johnny Depp's height for you, 5'10".
Oh, he is taller.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, you threw that in my face. Well
for the
done.
for the record.
Yeah, well
Yeah.
done.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if we're calling 5'10" tall, I mean,
5'10" is, I think, slightly above the average, right? What
I
is the
think
average?
slightly above
5'8"?
that. Yeah.
Uh, I went
What
to
do you
this wake recently. I felt like I was among the Lilliputians. I felt like a giant.
There you go.
Every person in the room, and there were a lot of people. This was a large sampling at this wake.
Mhm.
And me and my friend, he's about the same height as me. We're looking around at one point. We're like, wow, are we giants now?
I
They
don't
talk
know who this
about,
person is, and I was going to make a bad joke about
uh-huh.
was it a kid in kindergarten?
No, I'll
Like
clear it
everybody
up.
there was his kindergarten buddies.
There were a
But I
lot
want to
of
be
older
respectful.
people. There were a lot of older people at this wake. And, they say, when you get older, there's some
Yeah.
shrinkage.
I think I've shrunk in like half an inch or something. Like I
Uh-huh.
can, but
It's
yeah, I
already,
was going to make a joke about it being kids, but that's not funny.
no,
So I took the high road.
yeah, good for you.
What else? So you felt like a giant in this week. Did you take advantage and just start
No, it was
pushing
just
people around?
it was just odd. I mean, I'm not conscious of my height at all, really. But
Yeah.
me and my friend are just like looking around, and we're like, oh, what are we, giants?
Well, the other day or a couple weeks ago, I found myself in the elevator, and I'm usually like I'm 6'2", so I'm usually at any given point I'm maybe the tallest person in the room.
Mhm.
And there'll be somebody who floats in or out, but I'm used to kind of being, if not the tallest in the room, But also, I'm in this elevator, four of us. I'm the shortest one by like 6 inches.
Really? Oh, okay.
Like, where the fuck? Like,
It's
these are
funny.
just normal dudes coming out of the office.
Yeah.
And I have to say, like, I don't think about height as much, at
Uh-huh.
all.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if short people do, because I
Uh-huh.
spent that entire elevator ride going, "What the fuck?" Like
Uh-huh.
this wasn't
Yeah.
used to it.
No, it's funny.
I'm really like, even if I'm not usually the tallest person in the room, I'm really the shortest.
Uh-huh. It's funny you mention the elevator, because that's when, yeah, it's a weird phenomenon. There's nothing else to think about, but like, your height in in an
Yeah.
elevator. One time, Shaquille O'Neal
Oh Jesus.
got got into an elevator, and yeah,
Well, that's a different
that
level.
was
Like,
phenomenal.
yeah.
The first time I saw Muhammad Ali on
Mhm.
the street, and in New York,
Yeah.
is by a Carnegie Deli, I think, one of the big delis, and he was just standing in front of the place, and I didn't really know his height,
Yeah, he's
and
6'4", I think.
yeah, he was tall, and that was like the most striking thing about him.
Hmm.
And I was like, wow, he literally looks like a statue to me.
Yeah.
And
I
then and then
saw
and then and then Joe Frazier,
Joe Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
he did a book with Simon and Schuster, and he was in the office one day, and I looked at him, and I'm like, he's small. I'm
Yeah.
like I think I can take him, Joe Frazier.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you
No,
could take him now, and he's
no,
been dead.
yeah, no, but just like you said, when you thinking about height, and it's just like,
Well, Shaq is he's a unique physical presence.
yeah,
Like, I've seen tall dudes, but
yeah,
he is monstrous.
substantial. Yeah, he's
Because
substantial.
I I saw Latrell Sprewell on the streets one time,
Uh-huh.
back when he was on the Knicks, and he's 6'7".
Uh-huh.
So when you see him on TV, he's kind of just looks normal.
Right.
And I wasn't shocked by how tall he was as much as I was. His shoulders were like 5 feet wide. Like, he
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
I was shocked at just how not tall he was, but how big he was.
Yeah.
And then you think he's not even, he's just normal size. And you
Yeah,
see
you
them
don't have any
out.
perspective watching people on television.
Yeah. But Shaq in an elevator, that's tough to beat.
Yeah. That was amazing.
That guy in a little coat territory there.
I think we've covered the bases for this show.
Yeah. This
We
was
we ran the gauntlet.
lower energy than usual.
Okay. Are we going to start rating ourselves at the end of the show?
No, I'm just saying
Oh, okay.
it's a little maybe last week was exciting with the guest.
Yeah.
This one's a little lower energy. It's okay.
Working on any guests in the future?
We are?
I'm asking, are you?
Oh, you're the one with the Hollywood Rolodex.
No, I think I've just about used it up. I'd like
Uh,
to talk to your brother Will. That would be exciting.
yeah, I think so.
That would be fun.
It'd be a good
Yeah.
one. Yeah, we'll get him on. That'd be a good
Okay.
one. Yeah.
All right. I'd like to thank everybody for listening. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and keep tuning in. We love it.
We love it, even though Mike wants to change the name for some reason. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week.